Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. This is Radio Free Mormon on the air, broadcasting behind enemy lines. Tonight's episode, Face to Face with Radio Free Mormon. Most of you have doubtless heard of the Sunstone Symposium, which is held once a year during the summer months in Salt Lake City. At the Sunstone Symposium, numerous people, scholars and non-scholars alike, gather together to make presentations about various and sundry aspects of Mormonism. This year, the good folks at the Sunstone Symposium have reached out to yours truly, Radio Free Mormon, and asked me to make a presentation. After only a moment's thought, I gladly took them up on this invitation, and I'm happy to announce to you that Radio Free Mormon will be appearing at the Sunstone Symposium and presenting on Friday, August 2nd at 3:45 p.m. at the Sunstone Symposium, which will be held at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. There will be 7 other presentations going on at the exact same time as my presentation in different rooms, and one of those other 7 presentations will be none other than Sam Young. So I expect that the only people who will be attending my presentation are close friends and family members. For those of you, however, who do wish to be present at the Radio Free Mormon presentation at Sunstone, I want you to know it will be conducted in the same format as a face-to-face presentation in the LDS Church. The face-to-face presentations typically involve 1 or 2 apostles who respond to questions that are asked them from members of the church. It will be extremely helpful if you can ask those questions in advance, the same as with a regular face-to-face presentation. And the way I would like you to submit your questions is in the comments section of this podcast. Just go to the webpage at radiofreemormon.org. When this podcast goes up, scroll down to the comments section and list your questions there. That will give me time in advance to review the questions, see which ones I would like to answer, and hopefully prepare a meaningful response to share with you during the 60 minutes that I am allotted. There are a number of ground rules that I want to set forth for this face-to-face so it will most closely resemble an actual face-to-face that is done by the LDS Church. Ground rule number 1, at the beginning of the presentation, every person present will be asked to raise their right hand to the square and sustain me, Radio Free Mormon, as the sole source of truth and light concerning topics relating to Mormonism. You will have a completely free vote in this matter. You can vote yes or you can vote no. You should be advised that if you vote no, however, you will not be allowed to express the reasons why you do not sustain me as the sole source of truth and light concerning subjects related to Mormonism. You will instead be referred to your local bishop or stake president to express those concerns there. The purpose being that you can share your concerns, but not with me, only with other people who will never have any contact with me and therefore will never have any ability to share your concerns with me. I will then proceed with the presentation as if nobody had voted no in the first place. Ground rule number 2, please restrict your questions to serious and sincere questions regarding Radio Free Mormon. No questions will be permitted that express any degree of opposition to Radio Free Mormon or doubt in Radio Free Mormon's truthfulness or ability to convey the correct message and answer. In my presentation, questions are honored, but opposition is not.
There's no warrant for this concept in the government of God's kingdom, where questions are honored, but opposition is not.
Ground rule number 3. If, in spite of this warning, you insist on asking questions that express doubts concerning the truthfulness of Radio Free Mormon, you will be asked to remove yourself voluntarily from the room. If you choose to not remove yourself voluntarily from the room, we will initiate an impromptu disciplinary council to have you formally removed from the room. Ground rule number 4. If you ask a question that I consider to be a difficult question or one that is hard to answer, please be on notice that those are the questions that I will avoid.
I think we'd also have to be honest. There may be some of these questions that there is no answer to.
Yes.
Those, I think, would be the ones we avoid.
The purpose in having you submit these questions beforehand is so that I can look through them, figure out which ones are the easy questions, put the hard questions to the side, and then focus only on the easy questions during the presentation. And finally, ground rule number 5. If you should ask a question that I personally do not like the way you have framed the question, I reserve the right to unilaterally change the question to one more to my liking.
First, I want to change the question. There are no homosexual members of the church.
As long as everyone agrees to adhere to this basic set of ground rules, I'm sure we will have a very interesting and informative presentation. The spirit will be felt, hearts will be warmed, and testimonies will be strengthened. I look forward to seeing you at the face-to-face presentation with Radio Free Mormon at Sunstone, Friday, August 2nd at 3:45 p.m. That's about all for tonight. Until next time, this is Radio Free Mormon, signing off the air.